We start with the 1953 Chevrolet Corvette C1, the beginning of a legend. In 1953, a legend was born, the very first Chevrolet Corvette. It wasn't just a car, it was America's bold answer to the flashy European roadsters. Built in Flint, Michigan and limited to just 300 units, all painted polo white with a red interior, it instantly became a collector's dream. Powered by a modest 150 horsepower Blue Flame inline-six and a 2-speed Power Glide transmission, performance was far from thrilling. But that wasn't the point. What set it apart was its groundbreaking fiberglass body, lightweight, futuristic, and unlike anything on American roads. It wasn't built for speed, it was built to turn heads. At a time when most cars were bulky and conservative, the C1 was sleek, sporty, and daring. This was the beginning of Corvette's story. It didn't roar right out of the gate, but it made a statement. America was ready to build a sports car, and this was just the first chapter. The 1963 Corvette Sting Ray seed the split-window revolution. The 1963 Corvette Sting Ray marked a radical evolution, both in style and performance. Gone was the soft cruiser vibe of the C1. In came a lean, mean, futuristic beast. The 63 was the first year of the C2 generation, and the only year with the now iconic split rear window. A bold design move by Bill Mitchell. It divided critics and fans, but became a legend in its own right. This was more than just looks. Underneath, it featured a brand new independent rear suspension, meaning the Corvette finally had the handling to match its aggressive stance. With engine options up to 360 horsepower, it was quick, agile, and ready to battle any sports car in the world. The Sting Ray name wasn't just a gimmick. It represented precision, beauty, and danger. Today, the 63 split window isn't just collectible, it's a symbol of American design at its finest. Corvette had found its identity, and the world took notice. The 1968 Corvette C3, the Shark era begins. In 1968, the Corvette transformed again, this time into something wilder, more aggressive. The C3 arrived with curves inspired by the Mako Shark II concept, and it was immediately nicknamed the Shark. Long hood, short deck, flared fenders. It was muscle car attitude with sports car flair. Under the hood, the C3 offered serious power. From the 327 small block to the fire-breathing 427 big block V8s, top trims could push 435 horsepower. T-top roofs made their debut here, blending open-air driving with coupe-like style. Inside, it felt like a jet cockpit, analog dials, toggle switches, and a driver-focused layout. The C3 lived through the golden muscle era and into the 70s oil crisis. Early models were raw and powerful. Later versions got softer due to emissions and safety regulations. But through it all, the C3 remained a cultural icon. Movie star, poster car, and muscle era dream machine. '84 Corvette C4, Welcome to the digital age. The Corvette skipped 1983, and in 1984, it came back reimagined for the digital age. The C4 was a complete overhaul, low, wide, and wedge-shaped, with a high-tech interior that screamed futuristic. Gone was the curvy muscle car look. This was the Corvette's cyberpunk phase. The dashboard was fully digital, with green glowing numbers and bar graphs. It was the 80s and Corvette was embracing tech like never before. Performance in early models was modest, 205 horsepower from the L83 V8, but the handling was world-class for the time. As the years went on, the C4 improved drastically. The ZR1 arrived in 1990 with 375 horsepower and Lotus-engineered performance that embarrassed exotic cars. The C4 wasn't about brute force. It was about precision, design, and catching up with the modern world. It showed Corvette could adapt, and that the legend was far from over. The 1997 Corvette C5, a Corvette reborn. The 1997 C5 Corvette was a game-changer, a full reinvention from the chassis up. For the first time, Corvette had a rear-mounted transaxle, giving it near-perfect weight balance and drastically improving handling. This was Corvette engineering at its finest. Under the hood was the brand-new LS1 5.7-liter V8, pumping out 345 horsepower. Lightweight, efficient, and built for the long haul, the LS engine family would go on to become legendary. The C5 could rocket from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds and still be used as a daily driver. Styling was sleek and modern, with pop-up headlights and smoother lines. Inside, it was more comfortable and refined than ever before. The C5 wasn't just fast, it was functional, affordable, and reliable. This was the Corvette that could take on the world. Europe, Japan, anyone. The fifth generation didn't just continue the legacy, it set the tone for the modern Corvette era. The 2005 Corvette C6, performance refined. The 2005 C6 Corvette took everything great about the C5 and sharpened it. No more pop-up headlights. Instead, fixed projector beams gave it a more modern, aggressive look. And under the hood, the new LS2 V8 delivered 400 horsepower and razor-sharp throttle response. The C6 was faster, lighter, and more precise than ever. For enthusiasts, this was a Corvette that could dance with the best on the Nürburgring. The Z06 returned, this time with a 7.0-liter LS7 V8 and 505 horsepower, making it the most track-focused Corvette ever. And the C6 ZR1, a supercharged monster with 638 horsepower. But what made the C6 special was its balance. It could be a refined GT cruiser or a track day weapon. It blurred the lines between American muscle and European precision. Corvette had truly grown up, and it was ready to play with the world's best. The 2014 Corvette C7, the modern Sting Ray. When the C7 launched in 2014, it brought back a name that hadn't been used in decades, Sting Ray. And it deserved it. This Corvette looked exotic, performed like a supercar, and delivered an experience that blew away the competition. with its 6.2-liter LT1 V8 pushing 455 horsepower, 460 with performance exhaust. The C7 hit 0-60 in under 4 seconds. Magnetic ride control, Brembo brakes, and a perfect chassis made it as at home on a racetrack as it was on Route 66. Inside, Corvette finally delivered a premium cockpit, digital gauges, real materials, and cutting-edge tech. And let's not forget the Z06 and ZR1. The Z06 packed 650 horses. The ZR1, a staggering 755 horsepower and a top speed over 210 miles per hour. The C7 was the final front-engine Corvette, and it went out with a bang. Bold, brutal, and beautiful. It was everything a modern Corvette should be. Finally, the 2020 Corvette C8, the mid-engine revolution. In 2020, everything changed. For the first time in its history, the Corvette went mid-engine. The C8 wasn't just a redesign, it was a revolution. Gone was the long front hood. Now the 6.2-liter LT2 V8 sat behind the driver, launching the C8 from 0-60 in just 2.9 seconds. Visually, it looked like a European exotic, sharp lines, aggressive stance, and supercar vibes. But the price? Still pure Corvette. Powerful, affordable, and made in America. Inside, it was a complete transformation. A digital cockpit fighter jet layout and premium materials took things to the next level. And Chevy didn't stop there. The C8 Z06 followed with a flat-plane crank V8 revving to 8,600 RPM. Making it one of the most exotic-sounding engines ever built in America. The C8 proved something big. Corvette could evolve without losing its soul. This wasn't just a new chapter, it was a whole new book.